So welcome to the first episode of CodeBlock Tinkercad. In this first episode, I'm going to show you what are the components available in CodeBlock, how we can modify them, and how the interface is designed. So first, you have to go to your new project. First thing you have to do is rename your project. I'm naming it as project 1. So then we have a speed bar here. The speed bar controls the speed how our project is made. If I'm using 2-3 objects means I can keep the speed at medium, low or maximum. You can see it while using the components, and this will be my play button. This is my play button which play by one step. Then this is the repeat button. It will take you to the first line of the code. Then here we have some blocks here. First one is the shapes. From the shapes we're going to modify the shapes into the desired design we want. Then modifications. The shapes are modified, moved, rotated, creating copies, deleting an object, creating an object. Every function will be available in modifications. Controls, it has the loops, um, event controller, modifier. So for those functions we can use these controls. Math operation. If you are multiplying something, multiplying the values with the loop, we can use math functions. Data. If you are creating a object, that object data will be stored in data. We can take this data, copy the data, modify the data from the data itself. Markups. These are just commands we can add up to the program for our convenience. So first, let me take a box. The first shape it will be available. By default, it is showing that 20 cross 20 cross 20. The width, height, and length will be 20. Width will be in the x-axis. Length denotes the y-axis, and height denotes the z-axis. So from the top, you can see a red line. This red line indicates the x-axis. Green line indicates the y-axis. From the side, you can see a blue line. This blue line indicates the z-axis. If I'm creating a cube with 20 cross 20 cross 20, it will create a cube of 20 units of height, 20 units of length, and 20 units of width. In my plane, half of my object will be above the plane and half will be below the plane. So if I am creating a new object, the center of the object will be at the plane. So for modifying it or moving it above the plane, I have to go for a move, take a move, put it below the object. My height is 20, so I have to move half of it in z-axis. My object is created, moved over the plane. You can see my object is above the plane now. So I have to modify my object. I'm going to create an cuboid. So I'm changing my width to 60, my length to 40, and my height to 30. I have put the height to 30, half of it will be 15. I'm changing my z-axis value to 15, so it will move 15 units above the plane. Let's see what is happening. We have created an cuboid and we set it over the plane. We have an edge here. It is to modify the edge of the cuboid we have made. So for this I'm going to change the value to 10. It will reshape my edges at a radius of 10 from the pivot, which means the center of the object. So I got an cuboid with some edged shape. So what is the other option we have? I have a rotate option here. I'm going to rotate in z-axis at an angle of 45 degree. I'm going to copy the same object, move it in let's move it in y-axis at a rate of we have put the length as 40 and width as 60, so let's move 60 in y-axis. Go to the side, zoom out, see what will happen. My object is created, moved over the plane, rotated, it is copied, and the copy of the object is created. So I said they are having some loops. It is available in control. Just take a loop, put it here. I'm changing it to 3. Then go to an angle, play, moving it 15 units, rotating 45 degree. It is first repeat, second repeat, third repeat. I have created an object, modified it, rotate it. Using a repeat loop, I am copying it 3 times, moving in y-axis at positive 60 units. It is creating an object, keep on moving. Then count. It's like a for loop. If I'm using a count, the data will be created here. We can use this data and we can change the values. If I'm putting like this, or if I'm using it in move, it will move in that particular value. My I value will be vary from 1 to 10 by 1. So I can use some other operators. I can put this here, change the operator. So for each loop, for 1, 2, 3, it will be multiplied by the value I have given, and the operation will be changed accordingly. Then let's modify some other object. Let's remove this, go to our shapes. I am taking a cone. Yes, I am taking a cone. I am taking a half sphere. So for a cone, I am having only top radius, bottom radius, and height. But for a half sphere, I am not having any modification. No modification for my half sphere. So let's see what it will give. It has created an cone of top radius 0 and bottom radius 10, and its height is 20. So I want to move it above the plane. I am taking a modification, taking a move, put it below the cone. I have to move the cone. Its height is 20, so half of it will be 10. I am putting z-axis 10. My cone is created, moved above the plane, created a sphere. Half of the sphere is below the plane and half of the sphere is above the plane. I have to modify my sphere, so I have to go for a scale. One scale will be equal to 10 units. So for doubling the size of the sphere, I have to modify it like this: x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. I have created my cone, moved it, created the sphere, resized and reshaped it. So I'm going to take a move, and I'm going to move in z-axis by 40. Object created, moved above. So my half sphere is created, modified, and moved above the plane by 40 units. Then I'm going to resize my cone to the height of 50. So my height should be changed to 25. Half of 50 will be 25. I am moving the object above the plane by 25 units. I am creating this object as transparent, taking a create group, putting it here. So let's see. I have created an transparent cone. Look below the sphere. You can see the hole created below the sphere. You can see at the top that 0 radius tip of the sphere made a hole at the center of the sphere, center of the half sphere. Now let's duplicate this object. Take a rotate. Okay, go to the front. So I want to rotate it in y-axis. Y-axis by 90 degree. Taking a y-axis, rotate. Taking the center of this half sphere as the pivot, it is rotating. So we have created our object for rotating from the point we decide. We have to take this 3 axis, put it in the pivot. I am rotating in y-axis at the height of 40, so I am using in z-axis 40. Other values will be the same. Moving my sphere, copying my sphere, rotating in y-axis with z as pivot. It has created the same position. It has created a rotation in the same position, that the angle of rotation will be starting from z at a height of 40 and xy will be 0. So if I putting every value as 0, this plane where all the 3 axes meeting at 0 will be the center, and my object will be rotated from that axis. Object created, copied. My pivot is at center of the plane. The rotation will be made from the 0 position of all the axes. So this will be my 0 position. My center of the half sphere will be here. It is rotating from the pivot to 90 degree, which means it will come over the plane. So that's all the introduction for code blocks. After completing our project, we can export it as STL OBJ file. We can directly put into a 3D printer, print it, take it in our hands. Also, we have a share option where we can take screenshots of the object we have made, or we can animate it as a GIF. We can animate it as a GIF, share it with our friends. We can see how the object is made. Our project after animating will be saved to the local disk like this. Usually for animating the project in GIF, it will take some time, so I'm ending it now. Let's see you in next video. From next video we will see projects, how to design in Tinkercad code block and extract it. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Don't forget to click the bell button.